Welcome to Basscast Radio, bringing you the best in local and national news in bass fishing, as well as interviews with some of the best anglers from all over the U.S. With your host, Brian Carter and Hank the Bass Geek. Sponsored by Wildware America, Z-Bait Company, Missile Baits, Battleborn Batteries, Conrad Brothers Marine, Taylorman's Custom Lures, Vertical Lures, and Lynchburg Arms and Indoor Shooting Range.
All right, guys, we are back with another great episode of Basscast Radio. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Man, what a weekend it was here at the Basscast. I spent the weekend at Kerr Lake hanging out with the Angler's Choice Team Tournament Trail event, their 2021 Classic. And, man, the weights were pretty much the same as they were last weekend. The only thing that was off, we didn't see the big 21-pound bag. But we did see two consistent days with Jeff and Clay Ross. 15 plus day one, 16 plus day number two. Congratulations to them. Like I said, that was boat number 5, by the way, guys, for that father-son duo. And I've pretty much been there for every boat they've won. So what a weekend for them. $50,000 boat. Congratulations. But it was an awesome weekend. This weekend coming up is the next Basscast event on Smith Mountain Lake, going out of Crazy Horse Marina. Don't forget, guys, 8/24 are the remaining event schedules times. So before we get started, before we talk to tonight's guest, by the way, you only get me tonight. Bass Geek is out. He's got a big old event that he is a part of tonight. So that is really, really cool for him. Make sure you guys head on over and check out the Bass Geek YouTube channel. He did tell me he's going to record it, and he is planning on uploading it to his YouTube channel. So please make sure you guys head on over, click the like button, click the follow button, and guys, hopefully he'll have it up by next week. So before we get started with tonight's guest, Rumble. If you haven't had a chance to check out Rumble, please head on over and do so today. That is not a sponsor of ours at all whatsoever. Maybe one day that would be really cool. But that is where Basscast Radio and Backstage Fishing is hosted. And you guys go watch the video on OutdoorObsessionsRadio.com. We can go over sponsors because you know what? These are the people that are making it happen. You guys have been hitting the link. Thank you to everyone that's followed the link from thebasscast.com and OutdoorObsessionsRadio.com. They're all on there. So please hit it. Please tell them thank you for sponsoring local radio, podcast, the website, the whole 9 yards. So Angler's Choice Marine, Dick's Sporting Goods, Missile Baits, Lynchburg Arms and Indoor Shooting Range, Battleborn Batteries, Wildware America, Conrad Brothers Marine. That's what I got on tonight, the Bass Quest jersey. Lisa Lindsay with an Associates. She's located down in South Boston, Virginia. If you guys are looking to buy or sell a house, 434-572-2645. And last but not least, I think I might have already said this, it doesn't matter. Missile Baits. I know John's been on the road for the last couple of weeks and, doing the shows and the expos and getting the product in the stores for you guys. So make sure, like I said, head on over, check them all out and let them know thank you for sponsoring the basscast.com. All right, guys, tonight we have the NPFL Angler of the Year, Mr. Keith Carson. So want to thank him for coming on to tonight's show. and being a part of it. We've had a bunch of NPFL guys on. Man, if you guys already seen, NPFL is in for an awesome 2022. Got Greg Hackney going to be on there, Buddy Gross, and Major League Fishing. It's a bunch of Brad Knight. There you guys go. That's what I was thinking of right there. But yeah, so it's going to be a big splash for NPFL in 2022. So if you guys aren't following the NPFL, make sure you head on over, follow them on Instagram, Facebook, you name it. But it's an awesome league, and they have a great thing going, and we're happy to be a part of them. So check it all out. But you can check out the press releases and any updates from Bass, FLW, NPFL, all on thebasscast.com. So there it all is. Head on over, check it out. Thank you to everyone's hit up the website this year so far. Like I said, it's a lot of great things coming up. This weekend, like I said, is the Basscast event. Next weekend is 3 days of the Big Bass Tour. The weekend after that, I think we're going back down to Kerr again. We have the 5 Alive Championship, and we have another Cat Phantom Outdoors event in, like I said, the end of the month, going out of the Nutbush ramp again. So if you haven't signed up for that, make sure you guys head on over and do so. There's the Cat Smith Mountain Lake Series will be starting really, really soon. Also, there is another Phantom Cat event as well on Smith Mountain Lake. Yes, there's a whole lot going on around here. So we knew it'd be busy. So guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with Mr. Keith Carson. All right, guys, we are back with the NPFL AOY, Mr. Keith Carson. What's up, brother?
Man, not much, man. Glad to be here.
What a 2021 for you, man. I mean, yeah. Guys, I want to go through this really, really quick. Lake Eufaula, 13th. Wright Patman Lake, first place. Harris Chain of Lakes, third place. Pickwick Lake, 29th, which was, we'll ask what happened there.
Yeah.
Lake Winnebago, 5th place, and Grand Lake, 16th place. Guys, they haven't updated their website yet, which is kind of killing me because I've interviewed last weekend. We had Pug on, who's from South Carolina, so he's a kind of a local guy we consider. And you can't just go there and click to see what all you done won yet. But guys, he won $123,000 in 2021.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been just an unreal kind of year. It's like, you never know if you're going to catch them or not. You just keep your head down, keep grinding, and and hope for the best, really.
All right, Keith, let's start it off with this like we always do everyone else, man. Who is Keith Carson, and how did you get this fish and bug, man? Where are you from, brother? Let's start with that.
Man, yeah, well, I'm from DeBerry, Florida, born and raised here, just a small kind of town. Well, now it's more of a city, but 30 minutes north of Orlando, 5 minutes from the St. Johns River.
Okay.
So, grew up fishing the St. Johns here. I used to ride my bike down to Gemini Springs every day. And that's where I met another professional fisherman, John Cox. We met as kids down there. We started fishing together. And, he was just as passionate about it as I was.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So two crazy kids, who love fishing. So, and we help push each other too, to get from level to level and to continue to grow through the sport. And that's been really beneficial, having that.
Up until this year, and what do you think, has been your greatest accomplishment until this year, man? I know this year's like huge.
Yeah. This year's huge. So greatest accomplishment, man. I won Angler of the Year to the ABA Florida Central 2020. I've won 5 or 6 ABAs in the last 5 years or so. Wow. I've just a lot of these are small accomplishments, but they're equally important. And geez, one of my biggest accomplishments may have been quitting UPS. Honestly, I wouldn't be here where I am if I didn't take that plunge.
That is awesome.
And quit a career for a dream, and or a hobby. Some people may consider it.
How did that feel, man? I mean, really, let's talk. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm trying to do a 2-year plan. I want out. And I want to do this full time. I mean, how did that feel?
Well,
I mean, I don't know if you're married. Are you married?
No, I'm not. I'm not married. No kids. So that helped.
So that helped too. So that wasn't like, hey, honey, I'm quitting my $60,000 job.
Right. No, that helped a lot. And if I were in that position, hopefully I would have a partner that would support me, or could see the end goal, or where it could potentially take us, and help support that. Which that's hard in itself, but I was fortunate as just me and stuff. But even so, I mean, still, it's it's a tough decision to quit a career with a Fortune 500 company to go and pursue a bass, and not have financial backing or anything like that. It's definitely, there's a lot of anxiety and stuff, and am I making the right choice?
That's very true.
But I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it's like, do you want to look back in 10, 20, 30 years and be like, I should have done that. I should have tried. And I knew the answer was no. I'd probably never, forgive myself. And I can always go back. I'm on a rehire status, so that helped. But, a job is a job. I think Jim Carrey said something once where like his dad played the safe route and tried to be safe for his family. And he actually, the company he worked for got bought out. Everyone got fired.
Wow.
And he went to Jim Carrey when he was like 12 or 13. And he said, you can fail trying to make the safe choice, so you might as well fail at doing something you truly love.
That's
Jim
true.
Carrey said, okay. So he went to be a comedian and all he became to be, so
that is awesome.
That stuff like that helps you make the choice that's, best for you.
That's pretty freaking awesome. So, like you said, you fished a bunch of tournaments, a bunch of local stuff. What, and you're friends with John Cox, the bass cast as well. Awesome dude. I mean, I don't know how in the hell he did what he did this year. I mean, a lot of driving, but he's got a family, his wife drove a lot. We got to see each other on a Potomac, so that was cool getting to catch up. But I mean,
cool.
How much of an influence does this dude play in your life, man?
Oh, huge, man. Huge. It's like, he just pushes me to do better and better. And he's the one who originally took the plunge. He went all in, fished as much as he possibly could and made it happen, and then as I was working at UPS, he's the one who would text me. He's like, I've never met anyone as good as you. You need to be over here too. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever, BS, blah, 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 and he talked me into it. So, him as an influence has just been profoundly impactful. Especially, also, it's probably important for me to note that neither John nor I come from fishing families. Neither of our fathers fish.
Oh, wow.
My dad's a golfer. How we became so, so like deeply ingrained in the sport, I don't know, but it just kind of happened. I think it's really more John and I pushing each other to continue to grow. But yeah, so we don't come from fishing families. So a lot of our families didn't quite understand it, and they're like, go to college, get a job, do this. What are you guys doing? And now of course, looking back, they're extremely proud of us and everything, but it's great to have somebody there pushing you to get to the next level. Yeah.
I have to admit, I did come from a fishing family. We fished ponds but we never fished for bass. We fished for whatever. And we fished a whole lot. But I grew up deep sea fishing.
Nice. Okay.
And we spent a lot of time. My grandfather's a big deep sea fisherman. And we spent a lot of time on piers and boats and head boats and you name it. So I think my first boat ride was about 8 or 10. And then my first real fishing wise was like 12 or 13 years old. So, I mean, it's, we've done it for a long time, but yeah, lucky and blessed to have that.
Wow.
But I did have to learn about the bass world. And I grabbed every Bassmaster magazine. I mean, I grew up watching TNT.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of these young guys wouldn't know what TNT was, but yeah, I grew up watching TNT and Bill Dance and all them other crazy people and Saturday mornings. So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy how it all come about. But here we are today. All right, let's dive into 2021, and then we will talk about the championship, and then we'll look at 2020. Now, schedule hasn't come out yet for 2022. I don't think. I haven't seen any or heard any whispers. I don't know if you've heard anything yet about 2022 or.
No, 2022. That's still in the works. They are figuring some stuff out, but it should be out soon, hopefully.
Awesome. All right, like I said, guys, AOY $123,000. That's like 6 times what I made at my last job.
Yeah.
But yeah, an awesome season. Let's start first at the your win at Wright Pittman Lake.
Okay.
How did that whole entire event? Oh, we can start here. Let's look at the season. How many of these lakes had you ever been to, man? Because a lot of people's like, all these lakes were brand new to us.
Yeah, they were brand new. Okay, so I've been to 2 of them. Wow. 4 of them I'd never been to. I've been to Eufaula. Eufaula, Harris. Nope, sorry, I've been to 3 of them. Eufaula, Harris, and Pickwick. Okay, and the 3 I hadn't been to were Grand Lake, Winnebago, and then Wright Patman. And 2 of my best finishes came from lakes I'd never been to. So that was great. That was great. Just, that's part of going out there, trusting your instincts and, figuring that stuff out. Cause the NPFL, they're going to places, new areas and stuff. I mean, they're going places John's never been. No one I know has even been there. So you got to just go there and figure it out. There's not a whole lot of YouTube videos or much information. It's like, it's kind of nice, really.
Yeah, because some of these lakes are not very big. Because I'm friends with Soka, and we text back and forth between events. But yeah, some of these lakes are not very big lakes, and some of them like, where the hell is that lake at?
Yeah, exactly. I know Winnebago. I didn't know anything about that. I was like, what the heck,
So how did Wright Patman play into your strengths, my friend?
So Wright Patman, that played into my strengths because, so what happened was the week prior to going to that, I was fishing a Ray Scott National Championship on Lake Chick over in Tennessee. And the weather was great. It was, spring, it was April. The fish were spawning. And on the last day of practice, I probably marked like 150 fish on beds, tons and tons, like one of the biggest waves I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Move up. So I was like, wow, this is looking good. I'm ready for the tournament. We go to fish the tournament and the water dropped like a foot pretty much in a day. And almost all of those fish pulled off except for 5 of them. And I think I caught like 15 pounds. But, a lot of times when I went to go check some of the beds to see if maybe some of them were still there, I often saw the females or the males, but mostly the females just sitting, just suspended out in front of the bed, just like uncatchable, but they're out there. So fast forward to Wright Patman next week, same conditions, great water temperature, warming trend, full moon, or, good moon, and just a lot of good conditions. The fish are spawning, but now the water's really dirty. You can only see down like 6 inches maybe. And we had high water throughout practice. I think the water dropped 3 feet throughout the tournament, practice and the tournament. So still dropped like 3 feet in the course of a week. And something's just like, hey, the exact same thing's going to happen here that just happened last week, except now the water's dirty. So I won't see them. So I just started casting out in front of the beds, so I caught them flipping when the water was up day 1. I had 25 pounds. And then as the water dropped, I just started backing out and I just started casting, where I thought females might be sitting. And it turns out, I think I was right. I was just catching, like 4s and 5s and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you finished with 67 pounds, 10 ounces for the event.
Jeez. Yeah, That's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's most weight I've had 3 days so far.
Yes, that was the most weight you've had for the whole entire event. Harris chain was 54, and
Okay.
yeah, you finished in the 30s for the rest of the events, in the mid 30s.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Was
So
it
that was a good one.
what was the baits that we were concentrating on for that event?
So, I was flipping the Berkeley Creature Hog. That was a good one. Pair that with you could put it on a 1/2 ounce, put on braid and just flip it around to isolated structure. And then I was throwing the swim jig, and on the back of my swim jigs, I throw the meaty chunk here.
Mm-hmm.
And man, these are so good. So the way they work, and it fans out. So like when it swims and you're pumping it, this thing is just like pumping through the water, and they love that max scent, man. They eat that stuff up really good. So throw that swim jig and just kind of pump it over the structure, over lay downs, whatever there was to cast that, really.
Now, were these fish coming off of like the first cast, or were you having to kind of slowly reel it in, and then you get that strike?
No, sometimes it was the first cast, but a lot of times it was repeated casts and just casting the structure from different angles and stuff.
Okay.
And just trying to figure out where might they be sitting, and the water's really dirty. So I felt like I could make a cast and they could have been 3 to 4 feet away and not gotten it because it was so dirty. So like I kept making repeated casts, versus like, let's say you're fishing laydowns on a clear water impoundment. You don't have to make as many casts, because you can assume that the bass is going to visually find it, as well as, with their other senses and stuff. So
do you like fishing in dirty water?
Yeah. I like clear, I actually like it all. I like clear water too. I'm confident in both clear and dirty. Yeah. But sometimes I just feel like I get dialed a little better when it's dirty or something, but I don't know.
What do you mean by that?
Just like, like you can't see the fish always. You don't really know.
Right.
Like there's times, like, let's say, for example, I'm fishing Clearwater Lake and maybe I'm using fast moving baits and I'll actually see fish following my bait and not eat it. Fish that I otherwise may not have seen in dirty water. Mm-hmm. So I make different decisions when I fish Clearwater, because sometimes I can see them, but not get them to bite. And then I know I need to adjust baits and things like that. But then with dirty water, you don't know a lot of the stuff like that. Or you might see a small swirl behind your bait. Who knows? Maybe it was a crappie or something. So when you're actually getting bites and shaking off a lot of fish in practice, and they're eating really well, like, I don't know, just something about it. When you get dialed in that dirty water, it's like, it's
right.
Almost like there's less variables or something. Like you just know you'll catch them sometimes.
So I talked to a lot of guys, in that clear water, like you're speaking, the sight fishing plays a big key. But in the dirty water, how much do you concentrate on your electronics, or do you concentrate on both, or is it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say a combination of both. You definitely, for me, I need to know how deep it is. Mm-hmm. I'm constantly looking. A lot of times I put my rod in to see if I can touch bottom. I do that a lot. I'm a shallow water guy. So,
okay.
And I still like that method because I actually feel the bottom too.
Right.
Then I can know, like, okay, it's hard bottom. My depth finder, it might say 1.3 feet for a mile when I'm fishing, but I'm constantly putting my rod in too, because the bottom's changing. And then I know, oh, okay, it's like hard here, it's soft here, it's, it's mucky here, it's whatever. So, so I just get a lot of feedback from things like that.
So when you're talking about the mucky, hard body of water, are you looking at throwing different baits, or are you looking changing up something, or what is it particular about that you're looking for?
I'd say yes, it helps with throwing particular baits and things like that, but it also just helps with knowing how fish will position and maybe like what routes they might take. Like I'll give you an example, like Lake Okeechobee down here in Florida. So that's got a lot of real crappy bottom in certain areas, mucky, nasty bottom, but there's also huge limestone beds down there. There's lots of rocks. There's offshore reefs. There's way more rock down there than you'd actually think. And so I could be on a big flat, and maybe a lot of it's nasty and mucky bottom. And maybe even there's some muck on top of limestone. So like you can, maybe if you're in clear water, you can see it, but you're not sure. So by putting your rod in, then you can actually tell how far your rod's sinking. You can tell where the hard bottom is. Let's say it's spring. This is where they're going to be spawning because they're going to be over the hard bottom. So, then you can define an area a little bit more. So your casts are going to be made in areas where you're more likely to get bites and produce fish. And it's all like dialing it down to certain percentages to keep you in higher percentage areas. And, that's part of the process. So, yeah.
There's a tip, guys. Check that tip out right there. It's a good tip.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about this one, man. We really don't want to talk about, but Pickwick Lake, 29th place.
Yeah.
What happened, man?
Okay.
I hate to be so blunt, but
no, yeah. No, great question. Yeah, it's so Pickwick. Well, first thing was on day 1, or 2, I don't know. I was 2 minutes late coming back.
Oh crap.
I was making a long run to Bay Springs. I had a bad practice on Pickwick, wasn't feeling real confident. I was like, okay, let me go check out this place, Bay Springs. Didn't know anything about it, never been there. But I had a fair practice. I thought I could catch like 10 or 12 pounds a day, which was check range. And, part of being a good fisherman is knowing when to go, when to strike, and when not to strike, and when to just try to get a check,
Mm-hmm.
And that was one where I was just trying to get a check. And had I not been late, I would have gotten 20th place because I had a 9-point penalty, 2-pound penalty, which equaled 9 points there, which would have been, fair, kind of what I was shooting for. But you know what, 29th, I'll take it. I was thrilled to still cash a check after receiving a penalty.
Check.
Yeah, so that was actually a big win for me. I was sometimes it's like when guys golf, like Tiger Woods, sometimes when he saves a par,
Mm-hmm.
he's more excited than when he gets a birdie, because it's like that feeling of saving par and not getting bogey. And that's how I felt in that tournament at Pickwick.
The whole mental aspect, how has that played into some of these new lakes that you've been going to, man? The whole mental aspect of it, because you guys, you got some different rules for practice
Mm-hmm.
than a lot of other tournament trails do, and you can talk to everybody about that. But I mean, it's there's no pre-practice. I mean, the lakes are off limits up until the actual event, pretty much, aren't they?
No, okay. So this one, what they do is it's off limits 21 days prior to the event.
There you go.
So you can pre-practice some, but only with the competitor, or I think an immediate family member, or alone, and no information. We can't receive information when we get the lakes, when we get the information about the lakes we're going to for next year. I'm pretty sure on this that if they were to release our schedule tomorrow, as soon as we find out the schedule, immediately now we can't ask anyone about the lakes. It's not like I can call my friends and get information until January 1st, 2022. Right. No, that's not it. As soon as we hear, we can't get information. But we can pre-practice, I believe, until 21 days prior.
How much does the YouTube and then the Google Maps and all the other crazy stuff that we have now in 2021 played a role in this year, man?
Man, it definitely plays a role. I watch some of the YouTube stuff, and to learn maybe what to do and maybe what not to do as well. Sometimes watching bad content is just as good as,
that's true,
as watching good content. And I'm actually the type of guy, like, I prefer to watch the really small guys on YouTube. Like I'll give you an example from the Classic, actually. When we went to Ray Roberts, there were some videos on it, some big name guys who had been there, and they had lots of views and stuff like that. And I randomly found this guy who was a kayak bass fisher, and he'd put his kayak in the back of like a Toyota Corolla, and
that's awesome.
Bungee the trunk. And yeah, it was like all, rigged funny. So he'd go down these dirt roads, he'd put his kayak in, and he'd like shove off, and he's just catching 6s and 7s, and he's like way back in the timber where bass boats can't get to. And it's like, it was amazing. and he only had like 230 views, and it had been up for like 3 years or something. And I'm here watching it like, this is pure gold, like this is what I'm looking for, the
That is
content I
awesome.
want to see. So yeah, sometimes you figure something out like that. That's not always mainstream kind of YouTube
true.
stuff, Yeah.
That is definitely true. So like I said earlier, he had a lot of great finishes, and all of them are in the mid 30s, but you cashed a check, you were consistent, and you did get the big win. But
Yeah,
that AOY, man, how's that feel, man? First ever NPFL season, inaugural season, getting the inaugural win, getting the inaugural AOY that never can be taken away from you. How's it feel?
yeah. Man, it's just it's crazy. It's hard to believe that it happened. Sometimes, like, I walk out in the living room and I'll see the trophy and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I won. Like, I forget. Like, it's just, it's crazy because AOY is one of those things like where I don't focus on it throughout the year because, well, you can't. You have to focus on each day and each moment as it comes, and you can't go into it thinking I'm going to get AOY next year because nobody really knows. There could be all kinds of mechanical issues and things that can happen. And so it's kind of odd. It's like one of those things you don't focus on, you hope you get it, and then you do, and it's like, well, that's amazing. It's just like, it's crazy how all those little minute decisions add up to this yearly award like this.
That's awesome.
It's insane.
What made you decide to do this NPFL thing, man?
Yeah, honestly, John Cox. Yeah,
that's what I figured.
Again,
but
yeah, I was fishing another race Scott national championship last year on Hartwell, and prior to practice, John's like, hey, he's like, you remember Al McCullough? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, there's a new tour, and I think you should check it out. And he's like, NPFL, tell me about it. And I was like, all right. And I was on the first day of practice. And a week later, I finished the tournament, and I was talking to him on the way home, and he's like, yeah, did you sign up for that? And I was like, dude, I completely forgot to look. I've been practicing for this tournament. And I said, I'm going to look right away, And as soon as I got home, I looked, and I was like, this is it. I signed up immediately, like within right away. I read everything, read the rules, everything, and I signed in and I submitted an application there. And I think I got a call from Brad Fuller the next day, and he's like, we got a spot for you, man. And I was like, I'm in. And it was just crazy because the thing was, I just really hadn't heard about it, surprisingly. Like once someone told me about it, then I was like, okay, I found their social media. I could find everything, but it's like, I don't know, there just wasn't a whole lot of talk about it prior to, to it starting. And so, so it was John again. And then not only did he tell me once, he told me twice. And, so it's like, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah. All right, so how much have you bought John a nice big fat steak dinner?
Oh yeah. I take him out to Kobe's and go to the hibachi grill. Yeah.
Oh yes, hibachi. I love that. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
God, one for John Cox. Holy cow, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
That is crazy.
Yeah, just knowing someone John's so smart. He's real knowledgeable. He's a humble guy, but he's extremely smart in this sport. He knows so much. It's unreal how smart this guy is. Yeah.
All right, so let's move into 2022, guys. The payout's going to be changed. You're going to win $100,000 next year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
That was the whole video that we did with Soak Up, and it's like, yeah, next year I could have won $200,000.
Oh,
yeah, so the payout's going to $100,000 in 2022.
Amazing. Yes.
So yes, with money comes new anglers.
Mm-hmm.
And you got some big sticks coming.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Brad Knight.
Yeah.
We got Greg Hackney. The field is
that'll be fun.
The field is getting a little bit tighter, and it's going to be, I don't want to say, with this being the inaugural year, there have been some big sticks, and I don't want to take this away from anyone, but you're now getting guys who have won Bassmaster Classics, and you have won, FLW. Brad Knight was the FLW champion.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're getting some big sticks moving over. How does that feel? How's it, mentally for you now? You got to think, oh shit, I got to compete against some top guys.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for me, it's I'm fine. It's good. These are great fishermen. I've been fishing opens. I've been fishing against a lot of these guys. And prior to all that, I fished co-angler for years. Before all the professional side, I did co-angler maybe for 8 years. So I fished with a lot of these guys already in their boat, in the back of their boat. And the more and more you do it, the more and more comfortable you get. And it's just like, they're just fishermen. They're just people too, and they make some pretty good decisions on the water. But, I can make pretty good decisions too. So, this is competition.
That's probably the main question right there, is that decision making. And that's, it kind of does separate the pros from the Joes. And it's not because you can't. I mean, hell, if I got the damn money, I can go out there and buy $100,000 bass boat linked with every freaking thing on it and watch TV while I'm fishing and listen to music and you name the whole freaking 9 yards.
Right.
But it's the decision making that really plays the key.
Yeah, it is, man. That decision making it's where it's all at. You pull out of the ramp, you go left, or do you go right, or what do you do? And it's split second decisions. It's the more and more I fish, it's like, there's guys that, in the past, maybe they try to get waypoints from people and friends and this and that. And the more and more that you hear about it, the more and more that just does not work out. They're fishing how somebody caught them last week. And it's like all the tournaments that I fish, not only does it change day to day, but it changes hour by hour. Often.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're fishing off someone else's information, well, good luck to you, man, because you might catch them here and there, but, you're not going to be in the thick of it. You better, you got to make some decisions. And that's just where confidence comes in. You start becoming confident and try to remain humble and just, be as confident as you can and trust yourself. And I've actually learned that through golf. I started golfing 3 years ago and then just got good at it recently, got in the single digit handicaps. And it's like, when you really learn how to strike a ball, it's like, you'd better trust your shot and the path that your flight's going to take. Because if you don't, you could slice it or hit a terrible shot. And so it's like, you learn to trust your shot in golf. Well, I better learn to trust my decision in fishing too. And it helps a lot.
How do you think that golf's helped you, man? Like you said, I mean, you're the first person I've heard that plays golf and fishes.
Yeah, well, so golf has helped me tremendously. So it's
a big mental game.
Exactly. And that's the key. It's like, fishing's a big mental game. And it's like, well, why not do something else that's a mental game just to become stronger? And I own a painting company with my brother. We paint houses here in Central Florida, and we painted Arnold Palmer's neighbor's house in Bay Hill. And they had all kinds of quotes. That it was they were friends with the family and stuff. They had Arnold Palmer quotes. And one of the quotes that Arnold Palmer always said was, "If you figure out golf, then you can figure out life." And it's kind of true, because golf is just extremely difficult, frustrating, and so much that you have to go through. And if you can get through all that, it helps you with life, and it helps with fishing because, well, trusting your shot. There's so many similarities between golf and fishing. And, I picked them because, well, they're two sports that you can do for the duration of your life, regardless on what kind of physical shape you're in. Yes. So that was important to me to think about that too. But yeah, I mean, golf is like, you have to trust the shot, and in fishing, you have to trust your decision. And both of them are sports where you're outside, you're at the elements. You can play on teams, like team fishing or team golf, or individual, and you can fish alone or golf alone. There's so many similarities. And, I actually, one of the things that golf's taught me is one of my strengths is my short game. I'm really good at chipping and getting it close to the hole. I can hit a ball 10 yards, 18 yards, 27, whatever it may be. Well, I started getting on this forward facing sonar thing, and I went out to Sturgeon Bay. And so I was out there in 20 feet, and I could see fish up to 80 feet away. And so whatever distance they were at, I would say 95% of the time I could hit them within 2 feet.
That's awesome.
And that's because of golf.
Yeah.
Like I could 57 feet, I was within 2, 42 and, even 80. Like I got to the field where I can do 80, and then I'd get that usually within like 6 feet or so, a full 80 footer. But it was like instantly picked up the forward facing sonar and instantly had the depth and everything dialed in without first having to practice on a hard structure like a dock or something that I could visually see. And that was just like, yeah, that's why I golf, man. That is
awesome, dude.
One of the cool things. Yeah.
That is awesome. So I grew up playing tennis. I play every freaking weekend. So I cast like hitting a tennis ball. So it's the direction of however you want that ball to go, same as in golf.
Right.
And it helps that pitch right towards, a dock or, rocks or whatever else you're throwing towards. So that is freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison, man.
Great. Thanks, man.
All right. Yeah. So we still have one more event left. You're heading to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Nick Jack Lake. And you know what? It's crazy. I got a guy at work and he's from Chattanooga, and he's talking about the laces. Like, are they really going to Nick Jack? I said, yes, that's where they're going. So what's the thoughts so far? I know you've been doing some research.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, by the way, it is November the 11th through the 13th. And if it wasn't 5 hours away, I'd probably attend, but I know I probably got something else going that weekend. It's crazy as crap around here, but how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. I've never been there. So I fish chick quite a bit.
Yeah, who else has never been there? The whole damn field.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've heard good things about it in years past.
Big ones.
Yeah. I mean, I hear that it's, I've told this story once before, but when I fished Pro Angler FLW Tour, I drew Anthony Gagliardi, and we ran all the way down to the Harrison Bay area, and we're fishing. And we get down in sight of the dam, and he's like, if they would just let us lock through, we could both catch 20 pounds in 20 minutes and we'd be back. And he's like, that lake's awesome. And I just always remember, that story. And I just that was 10 years ago. And I still never even stopped to fish it. If I'm in the area, I'm going to chick, or, I'm usually going, to fish a tournament. So, but hey, no time like the present. So yeah, I'll have the same amount of time to figure it out as, the other guys. And, I don't know. I'll just, hopefully I can, pick it apart quick enough.
So far what you've learned, like you said, you're a shallow water angler.
Mm-hmm.
Have you doing the Google map search, there are some things that you've picked out so far that, you said, that's where I'm going first.
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, I do that. You're right. I do that, but just not quite yet. It's, it takes me a while to decide. And I think about things. I try to think about things pretty intensively or deeply about, I break things apart as hard as I can in possible variable scenarios. So I just do stuff like that. And then as the weather gets closer and I figure out if we're going to be in cold front conditions, which is likely, or if it's going to be a warm November, which is also likely, who knows what could happen, then I'll kind of decide what I'll fish,
Let's hope for that cool weather. I can tell you that we are ready for it around here.
Yeah.
We have the big bass tour coming here next weekend, and I know it's supposed to drop. We've been averaging about 60s at night, and I think we're supposed to drop next weekend down to the 40s.
Oh wow, okay.
So
it's a big drop.
Yeah, it's a big drop. So hopefully we'll see a nice 7 or 8 pounder come out of Smith Mountain Lake.
Ooh, wow.
That's my home body of water right here. So
nice. I fished there. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been there. I went there in 2007 Bassmaster Open. I fished Pro Angler, and it was absolutely freezing cold, and I got frostbite in one of my toes. I guess it's still numb to this day. Like it's like a dead toe. Like it was that cold.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
He never wants to come back to Virginia again, guys. Holy crap.
No, it was just a bad cold front. And, I was young and probably wasn't dressed properly. Somebody told me, an old timer, he said, put on a pair of socks, and then get 2 bread bags, like plastic bags,
Yep.
and put that over, and then socks, and then shoes. Does that sound right?
I think so.
I did something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it didn't work. I don't know. Maybe it was too tight. Maybe it cut off the circulation.
Yeah, that might have what happened. Holy
Yeah.
cow. All right, dude. Got one final question for you. As always, what's your biggest takeaway from 2021, man, so far? From NPFL?
Yeah, biggest takeaway so far is just having confidence and trusting yourself, and trust what you do. Again, a comparison to golf is like in golf, you've got guys who are really good at hitting the ball really far, like DeChambeau can hit it 400 yards, and you got guys like Tiger who's great with their irons, and then you got guys who are great at short game, and it's like they all play their strength and they all do really well at times and have won majors and stuff like that. And it's the same thing with fishing. I'm a shallow water guy, there might be a deep water guy, but it's like, don't worry about what that guy's doing. Trust you, do your game, and no one knows you better than you, so make the decisions that you can make.
Guys, you heard it right here. He has made some great decisions in 2021. Let's hope it continues. $123,000, man. That's gonna, guys, you can just sit back and chill for the rest of this year, can't you?
Yeah.
Besides
I'm
the
gonna
NPF,
keep working.
there you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. You ain't got to look for no daggone job. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So beside the NPFL, what else is on your docket for the rest of this year, man?
So rest of this year, my brother and I are working on a little rental house that we bought.
Cool.
Little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, full, needs everything. So I'm like framing walls, hanging drywall, doing tile, vanities, you name it. Part-time electrician, doing a little bit of that. So
I'll do anything but the electrical. I hate that. No, I'm not good at that.
Me neither. Yeah, I mean, I can do minor stuff, and
yeah,
I've probably been shocked so many times. I'm lucky, but doing some of that, golfing when I can. I golfed with my dad yesterday. That's awesome. Just a great sport that helps keep you prepared for fishing, mental ways. So just doing that, enjoying things and getting ready for 2022. Getting ready for Nickajack actually, but after that I'll be getting ready for 2022.
Guys, let's hope the NPFL gets a whole lot closer to Virginia. We'd love to have them up at Smith Mountain Lake. That would be pretty freaking awesome. We've had the Bass Masters there we had them about the first 2 years I started this crazy thing there on Smith Mountain Lake. I think we had Skeet Reese win it one year with the big old swim bait that he brought up here. And then I want to say, was it Kevin Van Dam that won one up here? I can't remember, but I know Skeet won one. So, but I think Kevin won one as well up here on Smith Mountain Lake.
He did. He did actually. He won it on smallmouth, I think.
I'm in the crazy. It's like a photo. That's how old I was. Young, dumb, and stupid. But it was crazy. I'm in the actual photo on his website. It's like I'm sitting there with a camera interviewing him. And I got this big camera, we didn't shrunk down since then, but I got this big camera and there's a picture of me and I'm like, gosh, what the hell? But Ski Reese and KVD, and now we just get the big bass tour, because it does bring, Smith Mountain Lake is an awesome lake. It would be a lake for a classic.
Yeah,
because Bugs, the Bassmaster Classic has been to Bugs Island, which is hour and a half from me, but it would be a cool lake because there really is nowhere on Smith. I mean, it's a bunch of houses, that's about it. There's nowhere to stay. I mean, there's one resort, but a cool place where they could host the weigh-in in Roanoke, Virginia, which is not but like an hour away. And we've noticed that from all the other Bassmaster Classics, the hour drive is nothing. I mean, we're going to South Carolina next year, and I think it's another hour drive as well from the lake to the weigh-in. So we'd love to have you. Come on back up here, man. If you ever want to crash right here in Central Virginia, just hit me up. You got my digits. But man, thank you for coming on with us. Thank you for talking to us. We wish you the best of luck. What do we got? About 20 some days left?
I think so.
29, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know.
Well, where are we at? We're today's
No.
the 16th. No,
No, we're
Say-
not. Today's the 13th.
yes.
So we're almost about a month away.
You're right. You are right. Wow, more time than I thought.
So November the 11th, the 13th, and today is the 13th. So you're right at a month away. So good luck to you. Thank you for talking with us. Before you go, any sponsors, anybody out there you want to thank, and shout out to your Instagram page or Facebook or anything of that nature.
Yeah, so Instagram's Keith_Carson. It's I'd like to thank Abu Garcia. They've helped me. The reels are amazing. They've got the new Xenon line coming out. I just ordered like 6 of them. Hopefully they'll get here soon. But their stuff's great. Berkeley bait's great. The General, all that stuff's really good. Crest Iron Boats, Mercury, Lowrance. Love that. Love the active target. Thanks to them for keeping me going, and looking forward to next year.
Awesome. All right, guys, man, really appreciate Keith Carson coming on and talking with us tonight. What an awesome show, man. You never really think about, there's a lot of guys that just fish. I mean, I know there's a lot of guys that hunt, but talking about that golf aspect of it, and golf is a mental game. It really is. I used to play golf. I sucked, but I played. But I mean, and you're always thinking about that next shot. Pool, you're always thinking about the next shot. I mean, it's in making the strike and and sinking the ball and hitting that point, whichever one you're looking at, on your Lowrance or your Hummingbird or whatever. I've been in shows and watched kids walk around just throwing baits into a bucket, pitching, flipping, casting, you name it. So I mean, it's hitting that target, and it's pretty cool analysis from him. And guys, we wish him the best of luck in their championship coming up. Like I said, it's November the 11th through the 13th. If you guys are down there in Chattanooga, Tennessee, at Nickajack Lake, head on over, man. You won't be disappointed. And guys, they throw out a ton of free crap too. I mean, their sponsors have hooked them up. They got a great thing going. And like I said earlier, we're happy to be a part of the NPFL. I want one of them hats because I love them. Who doesn't love the American flag? I hope you all do, but it's a cool logo. So check them out. Before we leave, guys, don't forget to head on over to Rumble. That's where all our podcasts are uploaded, the video version, as well as Backstage Fishing. And don't forget to check out our sponsors: Angler's Choice Marine, Dick's Sporting Goods, Lynchburg Arms and Indoor Shooting Range, Battleborn's Batteries, Wild Wear America, Conrad Brothers Marine, which I have this shirt on. Let's hope Bass Quest will be back really, really soon. Miss all and great guys. Lisa L. Lindsay, an associate broker with Long and Forster down in South Boston, Virginia. Kerr Lake, which is where the Basscast will be back in a few weeks. It'll be like our 3rd trip in a couple. Wow. Give her a call, 434-572-2645. You're looking to buy or sell your home. And John Cruz with Missile Baits. Thank you, everyone. Bass Geek, I hope, will be back with us next week. And you guys, as always, man, be safe while you're out there on the water. Always wear your life jackets. And as my brother Bruce used to say, take a kid fishing. Have a great night, everyone. And we'll see you guys next week.
You've been listening to Basscast Radio, the best in local and national bass fishing news. To listen to more episodes, check us out on all the podcasting networks. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, thebasscast.com, and Basscast News.